Good morning. Thank you everyone for coming. For a November morning, we couldn't have asked for better weather, eh? Double digits. My name's Ashley Nunsmith. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm the new CEO here for the King Township Public Library, and I'm so happy to be your MC. This beautiful building project spans many years. I want to thank the Township Council, staff, Library Board, and staff who made this project possible. I have the great pleasure of coming in at the end and celebrating with all of you the grand opening. Best job, I might add. A couple housekeeping items before we get going. Access to the building is going to be through guided tours. They're going to be 20 to 25-minute tours. After our ceremony here, we're going to hear a few words and cut a ribbon. Then you can line up over on the Senior Center side for a tour. Please keep your mask on when you're indoors and complete the King COVID screening app. There are QR codes that you can scan to complete the app. Once you have that green check mark, you can come on inside for a tour. The library will be open for in-person public service starting tomorrow, November 9th. Our hours tomorrow will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will be expanding those hours as soon as we can, but we're just getting started. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Mayor Steve Pellegrini, who will say a few words.
Thank you, Ashley, and good morning, everyone. What an absolutely gorgeous day here in beautiful King. I tell everybody, especially the visitors, it's like this every day in King, isn't it? So, with me is our members of council, and I'm going to, Councillor Schaefer, Councillor Chescalini, Councillor Boyd, and Councillor Schneider. Councillor, or former Councillor Paps, where are you? Is over here. I'm recognizing past and present council members because a facility like this takes years, and it's bold steps that council members make to invest your hard-earned tax dollars to bring a building like this to fruition. So I thank all past and present members of council. I also want to thank staff. There's a bunch of them in the back. Chris, you got to pay attention. Daniel, the fire chief, our clerk, Denny, I see you, John, and Amanda, and Laura. Sorry, Laura Campbell, I won't forget. But everybody in the township had a hand in this building. If they didn't participate, our facility guys have been working diligently, getting the elevator working. Our fire guys have been in, making sure it's a safe building and compliance. Our accessible committee have been in, making sure that it meets all the standards, and it's that type of team that puts together an incredible facility like this. And COVID has kept us apart, and we're almost through it, and now we're all eager, and just by seeing everyone out today, oh, there goes my notes, that's okay, everyone out today, we know that we want to get back together. We want some normality back in our lives, and we're getting there. And this facility, I'm proud, will be the one that will be here for us to all gather in the future. And it starts tomorrow. I'm also proud of all our other libraries we have in King. We have the Schaumburg and Nobleton branches that have reopened and have gone through some remodeling as well. So I encourage all people to get out and visit our libraries. As of tomorrow, you will be able to use this bright modern facility that is 21,000 square feet. The branch includes meeting and study space, a reading lounge, books and out-of-the-box collections, public use technology, children and teen areas, and a Make It lab. We were fortunate here, all of us up here, to have a quick tour this morning, and that Make It lab, I had to start yelling at people to get out. Come on, we got to go outside. It is incredible space, how our libraries have evolved to meet the needs of today's world. In addition to the open and bright space with a view of the green space, and you have to, when you stand in the building, look out back. Look at the great green scenery in King, and it backs right onto the school, so you've got the young kids running around. It's magnificent. We've used efficient heating and cooling We've used LED lighting, the exterior window glazing to reduce daily electric use. There's electric charging stations around the side, and we also have one of the first stormwater management infiltration systems. So it takes all the water from the area here, it filters it, and then allows it and puts it back into the stream. I encourage you to take a tour today and see for yourself the King City branch, what it has to offer for you. Thank you to everyone that have come out today for this grand opening. The senior center beside us here is another remarkable space. I told Franklin I can join, and I am going to join. So I look forward to meeting and playing cards and euchre and bridge with everyone. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Ashley, and I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd now like to invite our former KTPL Board Chair, Sylvia Powell. Sylvia?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Mayor Pellegrini, members of council, distinguished guests. I am delighted to be here this morning to see a long-held vision come to life. The idea for a new library really began early in the new millennium. As a board, we did a formal community needs assessment in 2008. But even without that, it was very clear the library desperately needed more space, especially evident when we were doing children's programs. In 2011, new growth projections suggested our population would almost double by 2035 and confirmed what we already knew. We wanted to build something that King residents would be proud of, but do it responsibly, that is to say, stay on budget. In the early stages, one of the decisions we faced was where to build a new library. We toured a vacant school, we talked about other sites, but the board was convinced that we were already in the best possible place, between an elementary school and a high school, and right in the heart of King City. Once council gave us the approval to go ahead, and an architect was chosen, one of our tasks was to look at 3 designs for a new building. And they had names. One was called the Lantern, and it looked something like the Sharon Temple. The second one was the rectangular box that none of us particularly liked. And the third one was called the Hand. So you are now looking at the hand. Building anything requires many decisions and compromises too. As we moved along, we faced the challenge of balancing wants versus needs versus dollars. What to keep and what to let go of. And those were not always easy decisions. I have to say that our mayor and council were very supportive of this undertaking, and on behalf of a former board, I'd like to thank them for that. I would also like to mention and thank Gordon Craig. He was a longtime member of the library board and a former chair for many years, and a strong proponent of the new library. I hope that this beautiful new building will encourage all residents of King to check out their new library. Libraries are very different places these days. They're not just about books. They're about robotics and coding, musical instruments, 3D printers, and so much more. So I invite everyone to come and enjoy this wonderful new community space. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia, for those wonderful words. I'd now like to welcome Franklin Mostov, the chair of the King City Seniors Club Board.
Thanks very much. I hope that you'll clap after the speech, too. Mr. Mayor, members of council, honored guests, I see that there are a number of photographers here. That brings to mind a story about a lawyer who had his portrait taken in his favorite attitude, which was sort of the Napoleonic pose. He was standing with his hands in his pockets, but there was an old farmer nearby. The old farmer remarked that the portrait would have been more like the lawyer if it had represented him with his hands in another man's pockets instead of his own. This ceremony, as you know, is in effect, the inauguration of this building. These big signs at either side of the building, in effect, proclaim the building, the King City Senior Center, the King City Public Library. Everybody passing by on the road, if they look slightly over in this direction, what stands out is this building and these signs. Because it's an inauguration ceremony, it brings to mind a sentence in an inauguration, a different one, but still an inauguration, which happened in 1933 when the inauguree was Franklin Roosevelt, when he said, "In the field of world policy, I would dedicate this nation to the policy of the good neighbor." Being a good neighbor is what the King City Senior Center is all about. It's always been that way, and we thank the members of council, both past and present, as our mayor alluded, past members as well, and their respective staffs for their foresight and for the funding, for voting the funding in supporting the seniors, both here and now in this building, and for providing the old building, which did yeoman service. Nevertheless, we have a challenge before us today. It is fair to say that the old building developed a great spirit of fun and camaraderie. I have, believe it or not, some fond memories, for those of you who know the topography of the area of the old building, of sliding down the hill into the parking lot of the community center where I used to park. It was fun, and thankfully I wasn't injured. The challenge will be to continue to thrive and to bring back that spirit and neighborliness after the prolonged absence caused by the COVID epidemic. We will aim to carry on our tradition of being apolitical and non-denominational and simply be good friends and, in effect, good neighbors. We are very much looking forward to our first meeting of the board here on Wednesday of this week. Over the past almost 2 years, we have declined the invitations to hold board meetings via Zoom. But we thank Laura Campbell, one of our King Township board members, for her most considerate offers to assist with the technicalities of holding meetings without walls. Nevertheless, we are not really Zoomers, but of a somewhat slower technical pace. and so we are now able to look forward to hold meetings in the new premises with walls. Chris Fasciano, or other representative from the township, has kept us apprised from time to time of the progress of the senior section of this building. I'd like to conclude with a story from history about a conversation which Winston Churchill, the English Prime Minister, and a member of Parliament called Nancy Astor. Churchill was a Victorian, as most of you are probably aware, and as a Victorian, his view of the role of women was considerably different from the views held today. And Nancy Astor was a very prominent woman parliamentarian. They were having a very heated argument at the time at Blenheim, which happened to be Churchill's birthplace. And Lady Astor, as she then was, said to Churchill during the course of this heated argument and exchange, "If I were your wife, I would put poison in your coffee." Whereupon Churchill replied, "Nancy, if I were your husband, I would drink it." Thank you and goodbye.
Oh, I need the mic. Gonna run away with the mic. I would now welcome the Honourable MP, Anna Roberts, who has a presentation.
Good morning. I love that story. I always thought that behind every successful man was a woman. Great story, great story. So on behalf of the Parliament of Canada, I'm honored to be here today. I wish to extend my warmest congratulations to the King Township Public Library and Senior Centre on your grand opening celebrations on November the 8th. This new, modern, state-of-the-art library and senior center is a welcome addition to our community. Libraries and senior centers are an integral part of every community. Is it still working? They play an important role in supporting our communities with not only books and research information, but they also provide our neighborhoods and valued human connections, which we've missed during this past COVID epidemic. As a member of Parliament for King Vaughan, please accept my best wishes to the King Township Public Library and Senior Centres on this grand opening. I've been part of King Township for many, many years. I can't be any prouder to be standing here today to represent you. This library is a testament to all current and past council. Their hard work is a contribution to our community. So on behalf of the King Township and myself, thank you very much.
Thank you. And lastly, I would like to welcome our Honourable MPP, Stephen Lefty.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. Mr. Moskoff invoked the wisdom of Winston Churchill. I'm going to remind folks about his famous quote to never, never, never give up. And clearly the seniors of this community and families and children stuck together for many years to advocate for the development and the opening of this wonderful state-of-the-art center. And I want to congratulate King Council for the amazing work of listening and heeding the advice of the local community by opening a center that I think will give opportunity, create a space for innovation, for discovery, for friendship, and to be good neighbors to each other. And so it really is a beautiful gold standard. It is incredible by any measurement. And what I found so interesting about the library is that it is going to help support the development of coding and the technological skills that I think our young people need to succeed. So I want to recognize that good work. I want to thank the township for their partnership and their commitments to young people and to seniors. And I want us all to look forward to more success, more progress for the people of King, including through the $53 million King City Recreation Center that all levels of government have come together to help build, that will create a modern space for health, for learning, and for recreation for all of us. So thank you. I really am proud of the township. It is a great honor to serve you and to work for you. And I want to thank the mayor and all members of council for having the foresight to build this product, build this incredible space near our schools in the heart of our community. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. All right, so before we do our ribbon cutting and get inside, just a reminder I encourage all of you to take the tour. Don't forget to complete the King screening. If you don't have a device to scan the QR code, we do have tablets at the door. We can do that with you. And also to sign our guest book. Sign up for a library card if you don't have one when you're inside. And pick up a grab bag and some light refreshments on your way out from the library side after the tour. All right, who has our ribbon?
Okay, you ready? Countdown.
Ready.
1, 2, 3. Hey!